Coming up next, the community remembers a State College man killed by police. We talk with his family about how the events are still impacting them today.
Plus, finally some positive news for residents forced from their homes by a big sinkhole.
And why a local food bank is seeing more people in need after the end of a special government program. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Natalie Calzatoni.
And I'm AJ Sisson. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story this week marks 4 years since State College police officers killed and shot a man during an altercation at his home. And his family and others are still struggling with what happened. Azion Scott reports.
Music and memories highlighted an event in State College this week, marking 4 years since police shot and killed Osaze Osagi. Officers had responded to his home to serve a mental health warrant. The 29-year-old Osagi had a history of autism and schizophrenia. Osaze's mother relives the pain on every anniversary.
It was as if I literally, viscerally felt someone shot me.
Osaze's death happened at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, around the same time when names like Elijah McClain, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor also made headlines when they were killed by police.
This is State College, right? That does not happen here. At least I thought.
Dr. Iyun Osagi, Osaze's mother and longtime State College resident, says,
There are just so many things you cannot say to someone who's autistic, for instance, like our son was. We couldn't give him like 3 different instructions at once. So you can imagine if the police sort of like barges into your space and begins to scream, which they do, and tell you stuff you are trying to process. It's not going to work out.
I'm currently standing in front of the State College Municipal Building, which is also where the State College police offices are located. Osagi's case, like many others, is still pending. However, State College police are making adjustments in their systems to ensure a situation like this may never happen again.
One of the actual substantive things that came out of this is that they now have a social worker employed through the borough who goes on mental health calls.
A total of 7 of 24 recommendations by a mental health task force have been implemented so far, according to the borough. In State College, I'm Azion Scott for the Center County Report.
The task force is focusing on steps including crisis intervention services, warrant procedures, and officers' role in mental health calls.
Pennsylvania U.S. Senator John Fetterman's office says he's expected to return to the Senate soon. The 53-year-old checked himself into the hospital for treatment of depression last month. He was just sworn in as a senator in January. Democratic leaders are not giving any specific timeline for how soon he'll return.
11 projects in State College have been awarded $2.7 million in state funding. The projects range from road improvements to recreation facility renovations to water system upgrades. The funds cannot be used for salaries and operating expenses incurred before the awarding of the grants.
A big project in Patton Township is fixing the sinkhole affecting a neighborhood. Reporter Zach Kay says residents are finally starting to get answers on what the next steps are.
For nearly 3 months, almost 20 families in a Patton Township neighborhood have been living a nightmare. A large sinkhole on Amblewood Way forced them out of their homes on Christmas Day. Many had trouble getting any financial help from their insurance companies. Now, State Representative Scott Conklin has helped secure a state grant to help the sinkhole victims.
So today, I'm very proud to announce $180,000. And the reason...
The money will go to temporary housing, inspections, renovations, and more. We talked with resident Molly Craig, whose home suffered interior damage. She hopes some of the grant money can help fix her house.
This one still closes. It's just a frustrating situation because I have a mortgage and I'm still paying my mortgage and I'm still paying HOA fees.
Conklin is backing a plan that would provide families with up to 90 days of relief in case of a disaster.
So in the near future, we're also going to do a piece of legislation that Nick right now, my executive director, is going to write. It's going to take care of the second problem we found. That second problem is when people are displaced from their home, is that there is nothing there on these smaller scales to help those individuals.
Meantime, officials urge all county residents to check their insurance policies to understand exactly what is covered. In Patton Township, I'm Zach Kay for the Center County Report.
There's still no exact timeline on when the sinkhole will be filled or when these families will be able to return to their homes.
The Central PA housing market is still trying to get its footing back, with more buyers entering the market as the busy spring buying season begins. The lack of supply has helped raise home prices, and interest rates have been high, around 7%, although they dropped yesterday. Pennsylvania has seen a 21% drop in homes sold, but one realtor says in the State College area, two factors mean a steadier market.
We're lucky here in State College to have the university, the hospital. So there's always some activity going on with people leaving and people getting hired. And so we've stayed, somewhat busy.
Some experts think mortgage rates will stay between 6 and 7% through the spring and summer before they begin a slow drop later this year.
Thousands of Pennsylvanians have had a tougher time putting food on the table starting this month. That's because a special hunger relief program started during the COVID pandemic is ending. Janelle Randolph looks into how that's affecting Center County.
The State College Food Bank has been helping people for more than 40 years. Now a new challenge is increasing the number who need help. SNAP benefits are now dropping for more than 1 million people in Pennsylvania. That's because a special pandemic hunger program just ended this month. The food bank says that means more people who need help.
We are predicting with this SNAP decrease that number is just going to continue to rise.
Konstantin Garev, his wife, and son use SNAP benefits at the food bank, and they're grateful for the help. They are originally from Russia, and both are PhD students at Penn State.
Grateful to all these resources that are given to us.
Every household in the SNAP program will see a decrease in benefits by at least $95. Board member and volunteer Kelly Levisky says there will be an increase in demand in Center County.
They are really, really working hard to make sure every family gets what they need.
In State College, I'm Janelle Randolph for the Center County Report.
More than 42 million Americans received SNAP benefits as of last fall.
And when it comes to food insecurity, a surprising number of college students are also facing those challenges. Reporter Valeria Quiñones looks into that part of the issue.
According to the Hope Center for College, Community and Justice, 40% of U.S. college students are facing food insecurity. Although nearly 2 million Pennsylvanians use the SNAP program, full-time college students without children have historically not been eligible. But COVID changed that. Emergency legislation temporarily increased accessibility to the program. For students who don't qualify, like Jack Brooks, what they can afford isn't always enough.
More recently, I'm a lot more conscious about my food choices, and it's borderline food insecurity because everything is so expensive, especially if you want higher quality things.
Other students rely solely on the SNAP program to buy groceries. Mackenzie Crispin struggled financially while moving to Penn State's main campus from her local community college. She moved to Center County with savings from a freelance job, but had only enough for the basics.
Somebody had told me, why don't you try applying for food stamps because students that get the Pell Grant are eligible for that.
According to the Young Invincibles, a national organization focused on healthcare, higher education, and economic security, 18% of college students are eligible for SNAP, but only 3% receive some form of government food benefits.
I definitely think it's been a great help for me. It's alleviated so much stress, and I try to be more mindful with it. So I try to make sure that I buy stuff like weekly so nothing goes to waste, and that when I do, I'm buying stuff that I'm definitely going to eat.
I'm Valeria Quiñones for the News Lab at Penn State.
That report comes to us through a partnership with the News Lab at Penn State. It produces in-depth journalism focused on Pennsylvania and fills news coverage gaps at the local and state level.
It's a rainy Friday. Will it last through the weekend? We check the 7-day forecast coming up.
And Pennsylvania is tops in a serious animal health threat. Also coming up, how one local fire company is dealing with an ongoing shortage of volunteers.
An outbreak of avian flu has wiped out flocks of birds across the country, and according to the Department of Agriculture, Pennsylvania is hit the hardest. Our state has many poultry farms, and according to the USDA, the avian flu is highly contagious and it's led to thousands of birds being killed, along with higher egg prices. Migratory birds play a big role in the spread.
If you or I take a walk and then we step on manure of these migratory birds, we can easily bring that manure into poultry houses if we're not careful, if we don't follow biosecurity procedures.
The state agriculture department recommends anyone who comes in contact with live poultry washes their hands and follows procedures to help stop the spread.
A national recall is underway after an outbreak of hepatitis A. Scenic Fruit Company recalled many of its frozen fruit brands. The company supplies Aldi, Costco, and Trader Joe's. On the recall list are frozen organic strawberries, and at Trader Joe's, those strawberries were included in an organic tropical fruit blend. The bags of strawberries have Best Buy dates from April to November 2024. The FDA advises people to check the batch numbers of affected products, and if your product is affected, either return it or throw it away.
Many Pennsylvania fire departments are facing a serious crisis, a lack of volunteers, but some of them are finding unique solutions to help. Dugan Lloyd reports from State College's Alpha Fire Company.
If you've ever called 911, you know the firefighters rushing to your home feel like real-life superheroes.
You have no idea who you're going to answer that call for. You have no idea. You've never met them before in your life, probably, nor will you ever see them again. But they need help, and you're out the door in 3 to 4 minutes without even thinking about it.
What you might not know is most firefighters in our state are not getting paid. They're volunteers. State College's Alpha Fire Company covers roughly 13,000 calls per year over a 100 square mile area. While volunteers account for over 96% of Pennsylvania's fire departments, their total roster has dropped from 360,000 to less than 37,000 since the 1970s.
The world is a busier place and people get more involved, they have more things to do, and the prospect of coming somewhere and risking your life and doing it all for free is just not as appealing to people as it used to be.
But here at State College's Alpha Fire Company, they're doing something pretty special to incentivize students to volunteer. After they complete their training, they get their own hard hat, and they also get a chance to live in the facility for free. The station also has a kitchen, living room, weight room, and office space. For students staying here, it's a unique living arrangement.
Everybody's like a big family here, so we all love being around each other all day. So,
with volunteer numbers dropping, many fire companies have started paying some salaries and bonuses. It may help, but the move could impact taxpayers.
You have to pay that person a yearly salary. You have to cover that person with insurance. You have to pay for that person's training, which can be tens of thousands of dollars. I'm sure we'll see increases in those taxes. In places that there's career departments, they have higher fire taxes.
In State College, I'm Dugan Lloyd for the Center County Report.
Alpha Fire Company will continue to use student volunteers. They make up 30 to 40% of the staff.
Student meteorologist Brian Michigan here with a look at that Center County Report forecast. You can see behind me a very gloomy, dreary day outside of Beaver Stadium. We've got the overcast skies right now. Current temperature 43 degrees, feels like 39. Got a little bit of a breeze coming in from the northwest at around 6 miles per hour. Temperature-wise, we have that northerly influence in the wind, and that's causing temperatures to be around the 30s for areas off to our north, and especially north and west. Otherwise, looking at some of the warm spots, Harrisburg sitting at 46. So anywhere from 35 to 45 is kind of our temperature range across the state right now across Pennsylvania. Now for our temperature change throughout the past 24 hours, we had a cold front move through last night, so that's dropped temperatures around 20 degrees from where they were this time yesterday there in Erie. Otherwise, very similar trend as we look statewide, anywhere from 5 to 20 degree difference compared to this time yesterday. So satellite and radar shows we could see that big expansive precipitation, especially off 2 hours south, and that's all associated with a stationary front that's just barely crawling its way eastward over the past 24 hours or so. And as we expand outwards, you can really see how big this system is, moving all the way from east to west here. It's going to be moving its way north and eastward as we head over the next 24 hours and dumping a lot of rain on its way. As this stationary front moves its way northward, that's where precipitation is going to enter our neck of the woods here in Pennsylvania as we get into the overnight hours. So as we get to around midnight, that's where precipitation starts to move its way back north into the state around Johnstown, seeing some heavier bouts of precipitation. And as we get into the early Saturday morning time frame, that's where precipitation is back again knocking on our doorstep here in State College. And as we go throughout the morning hours when you're waking up on Saturday, still dealing with the rain showers. And otherwise, as we get into the afternoon hours of Saturday, still going to be dealing with the clouds. However, we will be drying out across the state. However, can't rule out the chance for a few showers off to our north and west. So otherwise, Looking at today, 50 degrees. We're going to be overcast and damp throughout the day today. A little bit of a breeze, 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the north, and that wind's going to be picking up as we head into tonight. 38 degrees is your low, with showers returning to the region as we get into tomorrow. 50 degrees. We have those morning rain showers becoming more scattered in the afternoon and eventually drying out for the evening time frame on Saturday. Winds coming out of the southeast at around 15 to 20 miles per hour. And as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to stay dreary and wet throughout the next 24 to 48 hours. However, as we get into Sunday, drying out, temperatures up into the 50s.
Thank you, Brian. You know, I wish I didn't forget my umbrella because it's going to be a fun walk around campus today.
Yeah, and it's going to be wet out there, and I'm kind of sad about it. Just like most Penn State fans are with Micah Shrewsbury leaving. And speaking of Micah Shrewsbury, let's toss it over to Anna Camden with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, we'll check in live from Penn State football's Pro Day. And also ahead, Penn State basketball is in the market for a head coach. We look at what's next for the Nittany Lions. I'm Anna Camden with sports. It's a big day for Penn State football with the annual Pro Day happening at Huluba Hall. NFL scouts are in town ahead of the draft. Reporter John Drager is live outside Huluba, and he's seen some of today's action from 13 Nittany Lions participating. John?
Thanks, Anna. Right behind me is Huluba Hall, where dozens of NFL scouts and head coaches are here, ranging from the Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, and even head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniels. 13 different Penn State Nittany Lions are in there showcasing their skills in a variety of drills, ranging from the broad jump, the 40-yard dash, and the 3-cone shuffle. But all eyes are looking to go on to first-round prospect quarterback Joey Porter Jr., the former linebacker of the son of former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Joey Porter. More on this weekend will be coming up about Penn State Pro Day. I'll have more from inside Huluba Hall. But until then, reporting in University Park, I'm John Drager with the Central County Report. Back to you, Anna.
Thanks, John. Penn State is in the market for a new men's basketball coach after Micah Shrewsbury's decision to leave for a job at Notre Dame. It comes after the Nittany Lions' Big Ten and NCAA tournament run this month. Many Penn State basketball fans were stunned and heartbroken after head coach Micah Shrewsbury announced he's leaving after 2 years. He'll take the helm at Notre Dame with the Fighting Irish.
He laid the blueprint in saying, it took me 2 years to take this team further than we've been in decades, you know.
After making the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011, along with an impressive Big Ten tournament run, many fans are disappointed in his departure. Athletic Director Dr. Patrick Kraft released a statement saying, "We are already moving forward in a search for a new head coach and will identify and appoint a tremendous coach, teacher, and person." Well, that office will soon be filled by a brand new head coach, but Micah Shrewsbury isn't the only piece the Nittany Lions are losing, as they will be looking to fill the void that All-American Jalen Pickett has left.
There's no replacing Jalen Pickett. All-Americans just don't grow on trees. So what happens is everyone else has to get better.
But as decommitments and transfer portal departures hit the Nittany Lions this week, getting better might be a tall task. Shrewsbury is returning to his home state of Indiana. He was born there and coached at 5 different places in that state. On a brighter note, Penn State hockey is back in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 5 years. They play in Allentown tonight. Morgan Bull has our preview.
Penn State turned a 21-win season and a top 10 national ranking into an NCAA tournament berth.
Despite the defeat in the Big Ten tournament against Ohio State, the curtains haven't closed just yet for the Nittany Lions.
It's their first national tournament appearance since 2018, and fans are excited.
They've been looking strong all year. The past couple years, they've had a couple good runs, and I think this could be their season. So, yeah.
I'm really excited for them because I think it's going to be a really good restart from the Big Ten playoffs, so I think they're going to do really well. They had a really good season.
Only one Penn State player has tournament experience, Ashton Calder. This will be his third, and Coach Guy Godowski says that experience helps everyone.
I think he's been very valuable to sort of give to let guys give them a quick insight into what might happen.
The Nittany Lions take on Michigan Tech tonight in Allentown, but they haven't played since March 5th.
Where I think it can be a negative, but I think it can also be a positive, depending on how you approach it. I love the way the guys have approached it.
Godowski says Michigan Tech has made the tournament in 2 straight years.
They have a lot of guys that are familiar with it. They know how to get there. They've had 2 seasons of excellence.
In tonight's other game, Michigan takes on Colgate. Penn State plays that winner if they win tonight. In University Park, I'm Morgan Bull for the Center County Report.
Penn State's opponent tonight, Michigan Tech, is ranked 13th nationally. Penn State baseball is on the road today to face Michigan. Coming off last weekend's sweep of Brown, the Lions hosted Binghamton this week on many fans' favorite night of the year. Yep, it was Dollar Dog Night at Medler Field. Fans enjoyed hot dogs while watching the Nittany Lions win 15-1. Both Kyle Hannon and Anthony Steele went yard in the Blue and White's landslide victory. Next up is a 3-game series in Ann Arbor. That's all for sports.
Thank you, Anna. And coming up next, the big name concert tours keep rolling through State College. See who's coming to the Bryce Jordan Center over the next few days. 2 more big concerts are coming to the Bryce Jordan Center in the coming days. That's after Bruce Springsteen and Carrie Underwood recently played there. Country star Kenny Chesney will kick off his I Go Back tour with Kelsey Ballerini tonight at 7:30 in the BJC. The last time Chesney performed in State College was in 2004. And on Monday night at 8, the Kid Leroy is making a stop in Happy Valley along with Jeremy Zucker for his Bleed For You tour. This is the Australian rapper's first time performing at the BJC and his first ever college tour.
Well, that's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us for next Friday for another local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news and watch our stories on our Center County Report social media. You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great weekend.